Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Spiritual Conversation. I am your host, Jacqueline Claire, and today I want to explore the idea of honesty. And is honesty the best policy? Now, before we do, I want to remind you about Noble Beings, available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, Spiritual Handbook for Children of All Ages, wink, wink, hand-drawn illustrations of sacred Baha'i writings with joyful and relatable illustrations to help children grasp their meaning. Never lose thy trust in God. And see the little guys, he's holding on to this vine that represents his trust in God, and he is making a joyful noise to the Lord in that process. So Barnes & Noble and Amazon, linked in the show notes, paperback and hardback. Get you some. It's a beautiful book. I'm very proud of it, and I think that you'll like it a lot. Okay? Okay, so this is a topic that is very near and dear to my heart. In fact, page 1 of my children's book is truthfulness is the foundation of all human virtues. So, bit of a spoiler alert, right? Honesty is always really important. But there's honesty like I'm not going to tell a lie. And then there's also being honest about what you're willing to look at and address in the world and in your life. And what has inspired me to finally do this podcast is I had an interesting encounter recently where there was a discussion going on about negative countervailing forces in the world. And one person, it basically came down to, do you want to take the red pill or do you want to take the blue pill from the Matrix? The question was actually posed of when you sort of take the red pill, so to speak, when you investigate and really look at the naked, ugly reality of things going on in the world, be it the depth and level of corruption in the political sphere, or the human atrocities, the human rights violations happening in parts of all over the world, and specifically in places where we do a lot of commerce, or the reality of child trafficking, like all of these horrible things, and if we're really willing to look at it. And somebody asked kind of more of a blue pill question, like, well, how's that working out for you? How does that feel to look at that world, you know? And it's a fair question, right? If you are obsessed with the negative things in the world, that can have an impact on your spirit, and then you're less happy, so energetically you're not contributing positively, and maybe you're depressed, you're less willing to take action, maybe you're angry and it's coming out in different ways, and that's all totally understandable. And in the Baha'i faith, there's a passage from Abdu'l-Baha where he says, "Let not the world and its vileness grieve thee." And there's another prayer, it's currently not authenticated, but it's still one that a lot of Baha'is are very familiar with. And in the prayer, you promise not to dwell on the unpleasant things of life. So it's a fair question. How is that working out for you to think about and be aware of the depths of these bad things happening in the world right now? Or, the possibility that, we've been lied to about things that deeply impact our health and the health of our children and so on and so forth. Wouldn't it be better to not look at that, to not believe that, and just be chill and happy and go do your thing? Wouldn't it be better? And the answer is no. It would not be better, because that is a shallow and precarious form of quote unquote happiness. Human beings have been created to bear and endure. We have been created to know and to worship God. And every opportunity to remove scales from our eyes are opportunities that we should take. Do you want to take the blue pill and you're actually like eating slop and you're strapped to a machine, but everything tastes good in this fake world and you think life is great? Do you want to take the red pill and see the horribleness of the world and become an active agent in your own story? And I think that these sort of denials, right, when we choose not to look at things that we're given the opportunity to look at, when we choose denial, when we sweep under the rug, when we look the other way, when we put blinders on, when we lose ourselves in some distraction, be it food, video games, pursuing a person, even work, like whatever it is, those things come to haunt us. Like there is the dirt under the carpet grows and it gets worse, and you don't want to live that way. You want to clean house as much as you can. And if the world is ugly and there's bad things, you want to look at it and you want to know about it so you can do something about it, so you're not implicitly part of the problem by not knowing about it, by denying it, by going along with it. You know, you want to be an aware person. And I want to show you a painting that really illustrated this for me. I'm going to try to dim my light here. Now, it's very interesting. I'm holding it this funny angle, and I'll link it for you guys listening in the podcast version. I'm holding it this way just so it doesn't catch the ring light. So, funny, ironically, this painting is called Imagine Peace, which is really what we're talking about, right? Like, how is your peace? And is your peace disrupted by seeing and admitting that there's some bad forces in the world? And so this piece is called Imagine Peace. It's a peace lily, so it's a play on that. But I'm always eager to finish my paintings. It's a joy to work on them. Paintings, you would not believe, some of my paintings, it takes me so long, so many hours of my life. There was some famous writer who said something like, you know, I spent all day looking at a piece of paper and I ended up removing a period. You know, like it's so slow sometimes. So I'm always eager to finish. And I thought that I had finished this painting. It is finished now. But once upon a time, I thought I was finished and I was like, yeah, I nailed it. Moving on to the next one. And I had it in my house. And I would look at it while I was saying my morning prayers. And this black circle that you see in the bottom right of the actual canvas, right? It was not right. I think it might have been speckled, it was polka dotted, and it was too small. And I kept seeing it, like, oh, something's not right on that painting. And then I kept like trying to block out the thought. It's like, no, I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about that. It's fine. It's done. I'm moving on. I'm doing the next painting. I don't want to think about it. But I kept seeing it every morning when I was saying my prayers. And I was like, oh, God, it's not finished. And not only that, I had already I had shellacked it. It was shiny. It had a finishing coat. It was like done. But I decided, I was like, I have to honor this call of honesty within me. The painting is not finished. There's a problem, and I have to address it. And it almost went as badly as it possibly could have gone. When I went in there, when I put my work boots on and I decided to address this issue, I honored my instinct for honesty. And I went in to fix the problem, and it like coalesced into all these different problems because it was basically a surgical operation to remove the dot that I had and change it, whatever. Like it turned into a big hassle, and I had many opportunities to regret that I had taken that path. I had taken the red pill. I had accepted the hero's journey in this case to see it, admit it, and do something about it. But eventually, I got through it, and I did it. And it was years ago, and now I actually barely remember the process. And now I can look at this painting, and it doesn't taunt me. it has a sense of harmony and completion, and I know that it's where it's supposed to be. And again, isn't it interesting that this painting is called Imagine Peace? True peace and happiness is not something where we suppress the darkness within us or in the world. We see it, we acknowledge it, we ask God what we can do about it, we turn it over to God, but we do it with seeing eyes. And isn't it interesting in the Baha'i writings that Baha'u'llah says, the best beloved of all things in my sight is justice. And justice, we think, like, like a judge in a courtroom and all that stuff. But it actually says, by its aid, this virtue, this force of justice, you shall see through your own eyes and not through the eyes of others. It's a deep personal justice where you see through your own eyes. And that is taking the red pill. And I'm not trying to tell you what the Baha'i writings mean. I'm just putting this in my own words. If you take the blue pill, you're seeing through the eyes that whatever social forces you have given your will over to, you are seeing what they want you to see. In the Matrix, you were eating the food that they wanted you to think you were eating. And more practically, it's like whatever narrative you are handed on a platter to believe because everyone says it's true, so it must be true. As opposed to, well, what is your actual lived experience? And if you are shown information, you start to learn things. Do you look into it? Do you believe it? Or do you say, no, I don't want anything to disrupt my peace? You have to see through your own eyes for peace. So this holiday season, take the red pill, my friends. And again, I'm not trying to, any other associations you might have with that word besides the Matrix are not what I'm intending. It's just that beautiful representation of which one, your own eyes or someone else's eyes. And be honest about everything that is tugging at your sleeve, where things are not working in your life. And know that the hero's journey is never easy, but it's always, always worth it. All right, my friends, thank you for taking this deep mermaid dive with me. I invite you to comment on Anchor. You can send a voice memo as well as comments on YouTube. Like and subscribe if you would like to be involved in our follow-up conversations, Spiritual Conversation Live. Be sure to send me an email about that. And let's see what else. Oh, Noble Beings, check it out, as well as JacquelineClaireArt.com for some more handmade, beautiful pieces of art. Maybe someone will decide that Imagine Peace is a reminder that you need in your house. All right, my friends, until next time, I wish you the best for playing your unique part in making this world a better place. I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.